Vocal doubler, everyone! Vocal doubler, here we go. Okay, so vocal doubler. A tutorial in vocal doubling. So let's get to it. Alright, vocal doubling was really, or vocal doubling, vocal doubler, the vocal doubler was released recently. And I wanted to go through what it actually does, why you're supposed to use it, and sort of when and where to use it. Now, let's start with this. So we have a vocal playing here.
You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me.
So this is super dry, nothing on there. Like, well, there's some cleanup being done here, so you can see the EQ, the filter, etc. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the vocal doubler, I'm gonna put it on, and now we have the strength and modulation and boost. Those are the three controls that you have. I'm gonna go through each of them. With strength set to around 50%, we can hear the effects of the vocal doubler. Now, vocal doubling in and of itself is used in pop and many different genres to widen and thicken the sound of your vocals. Now, what you do is you record your take 3 times, and then you take two of them and separate them out from left to right. So you have 3 different takes, all of them playing at the same time. With vocal doubler, you can record it once, and that will duplicate the same take and modulate them with different pitches to make sure it sounds a lot wider. So what we can hear now is the strength set to 50, and I'm gonna pull up the modulation so you can hear what happens.
You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me.
So now you can hear that it's a lot wider. Now with the boost toggle, we have it so it can make it even more wide.
You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me.
But I want you to be a bit cautious with the boost button, because for some reasons it's more or less preferable to have it on. Now, what is actually happening here? So let me show you the vibrato setting here. So here we have the vibrato. What it does, it modulates the pitch of your vocal. So you can hear it if I pull the depth up a lot.
Crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me.
So you can hear it going up and down. It's sounding like all way weird and stuff. Now, the vocal doubler does that on the 2 duplicates panned left and right. So what the strength is the loudness of those 2 duplicates that you can hear. The modulation is how much is supposed to go up and down. So like the depth knob on the vibrato. What the boost does, it lags the sound a little bit. So if this is the main vocal and this is the regular vocal, it just pushes it back a little bit in time. What that does, it tricks your ear to make it feel like you're hearing 3 different voices, basically. One in the left ear, one in the right ear, and one right there in the center. The important thing with the boost is specifically that time lag, but what that can also cause is a little bit of issues when it comes to consonants and clarity. So if you have rap, for example, there's a lot of consonants, there's a lot of text. You want to make sure that the boost is off. This is of course up to you. You can keep it on if you like the sound of it, but just be wary of that it might smear your consonants, making you sound a little bit less intelligible when it comes to what you're actually saying. So now with this on, I am going to show you a little bit of the settings that I like to use.
You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy, yeah, that shit makes me.
So now we have a wide space with the vocals. You can hear that it's modulating on each side and is really wide and thick, but it doesn't sound too erratic when you're listening to it. Now, the last thing that I want to say specifically on the vocals is where do you want to put the vocal doubler? So after all of your cleanup, as you can see, I have a filter, an EQ, a clipper. It's still dry, but it's just polished a little bit. That is where it's a good spot to put the vocal doubler. Specifically before any of your time-related effects like delay or reverb, because you will be affecting the reverb as well, which makes it sound even more erratic than if you would put it before. So if you can listen to this, now we have the vocal doubler on, and I'm gonna put the reverb on.
Crazy, yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me.
In comparison, might not hear a big of a difference here, but
crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy.
It makes the reverb also go a little bit up and down, which I want to avoid. Now, vocal doubler. We have this one named vocal doubler specifically because we want people to use it on vocals. One thing you could consider though is this, to put it on a synth to make the same effect. So here we have just a very cute, simple synth. But with the vocal doubler on, we get this. So now you can hear that it's a little bit like erratic, it's spinning around, it's sounding a bit eerie and a little bit nervous, sort of. If you pull the modulation down, you get a very, very nice width on this synth. And now to really drive home that boost button, I'm going to show you this. So here we have a very transient, rich synth. It's a sample using a guitar sample, and it sounds like this. And with the vocal doubler on, you can hear the boost. So the actual hits of those strums are sounding a little bit smeared. They're not as clear and focused as they would be otherwise. This is specifically why I am just giving you a little bit of a precaution when it comes to the boost button. What you can do is just to turn it off and you still get a pretty wide sound, but with a little bit more clarity in the transient specifically. With that said, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions or any more videos you want me to make, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one.